sha256. What is the sha256 algorithm? sha256 is a part of SHA-2 family of algorithms which stand for Secure Hash Algorithm. What is the characteristic of sha256 algorithm? It's message length, digest length, and irreversible. Besides, let's look at how the sha256 works. Based on the diagram showing the sha256 algorithm flowchart at this. Step 1 is to make the plain text compatible with the hash function. Step 2, where we have to pad the length bits. Step 3, we have to initialize the chaining variable. The entire plain, the text message can now be broken down into blocks of 512 bits each. SHA families use a buffer of 32 bits each. They are named A, B, C, D, and E. Moving on, we have to process each of the 512 blocks by breaking each of them into 16 subblocks of 32 bits each. Last but not least, output. Output of the blocks serve as the input for the next block. The entire cycle keeps repeating until it reaches the last 512 bit blocks and consider its output the final hash digest.
Okay, next I want to tell about the advantages and disadvantages of SHA256 on Amazon. The advantages is, the first of all, is it's a secure and trusted industry standard. SHA256 is an industry standard that is trusted by leading public sector agencies and used widely by technology leaders. The second is collisions are incredibly unlikely. There are 2 to the power of 256 possible hash value when using SHA256, which makes it nearly impossible for 2 different documents to coincidentally have the exact same hash value. The third is the avalanche effect. Unlike some other hashing algorithms, even a very minor change to the original information completely changes the hash value, what is known as the avalanche effect. Then the disadvantage of SHA256 on Amazon is, the first is collision resistant. This is where it is extremely difficult to find 2 messages which have the same hash. Thus, we should not be able to find the hash of 2 messages, which is M1 and M2. They are the same within a reasonable time. The second is pre-image resistant. If we already have the hash value, it should be extremely difficult to find message which will give the same hash. Thus, for a given hash, it is difficult to find message.
Next, I will present about RSA algorithm. Okay, what is the RSA algorithm? RSA algorithm is an asymmetric cryptography algorithm. This means that it uses a public key and private key, 2 different mathematically linked keys. As their name suggests, a public key is shared publicly, while a private key is secret and must not be shared with anyone. Okay. Then this is an illustration how asymmetry cryptography works. First, send data. Data change to public key. Next will be checker, test and decrypt the data which they are on. Private key and the last data is received by the receiver. First start, RSA will be processed after generate it will choose 3 random vector. Next it can choose either V1, V2, V3 and prime, and if this process will delay or error, they will repeat the process again. And if process is not error, it will to proceed to the next step. Moving on, compute SV using SV underscore chain V1, V2, V3, and if this flowchart have a formula, this process will continue until end. Next, how RSA works. The RSA algorithm ensures that the keys in the above illustration are as secure as possible. The following steps highlight how it works. First, generating the key. V2, encryption, represent as a number. 3, decryption. In decryption, using the private key.
Now, moving on to the advantages of RSA. Amazon sees RSA as the best choice for their system because of its very fast, easy and simple encryption and verification. Next, RSA algorithm is safe and secure for transmitting data, and it hard to be cracked. Therefore, Amazon user can use the website safely. Lastly, RSA algorithm is easy to share the public key. Thus, user can easily share any link to others. On the other hand, RSA algorithm also has the weakness. Firstly, it may fail sometimes because for complete encryption, both asymmetric and symmetric encryption is required, but RSA algorithm only use symmetric encryption. Therefore, the website will be error sometimes and users are not be able to access the data. Next, it has low data transfer rate and high processing is required. User may find that it takes longer than usual to access the data. Lastly, it requires third party. Sometimes user need to wait for permission or action by third party to access the data.